Alright, the next thing we want to do is put this throttle servo in, and the question is, where do we put it? Well, most people have these little throttle connector rods on it where you just slide the tube through the little hole there and then tighten down the top. That way you can adjust your throttle. So what I like to do when I'm going to install it is I want to make sure it's not going to hit the wing. So this piece here sticks up pretty high. I don't want it to come over the wing saddle. So basically what's going to happen here is I'm going to move this throttle back and then come down and look at it from the side. And if you can see the top of that silver piece right there, then you know that you're too far forward because you don't want to see that. And see, now you can see it there. So basically that's what I'm just trying to do, just trying to find out where I'm not going to see that over the wing saddle. So I'm going to slide it backwards until I don't see it. And that's about where it wants to go. So now I don't see my throttle. If I can get that even. I don't see that sticking up, so it should be pretty good. And I also have it situated where the throttle is as far forward as it ever will be. It'll never be that kind of an angle. It'll probably come to maybe this corner here. But so that's good. So the farthest forward you can find your throttle setting, just move your servo arm over that way with the nut on top of it. I mean, you'll know that it's not going to interfere with the wing at all. And now we're going to put the rails in. Okay, I cut my piece. And this is kind of right where the dashboard is. You should see there's the wing saddle. So there's the nose of the plane. And come down to where I cut my piece, and I'm going to just stick that just about, I don't know, maybe an 1/8 inch above the bottom of the triangular stock that's holding on my paw patch. And it fits pretty snug right there. That's what I mean by snug. You can tap it and it's not going to move. But it's not pushing the sides out either. So now I'm going to use that and just lay that right down over the other 1/4x1/4 piece I'm going to use for the second brace. And I'm going to cut it to the same exact size, and then I'll sand it down because it tapers in a little bit on this. Okay, so you can see now I got my 2 hard rails in there with my servo, and that's just how I'm going to mount mine. Now if you want to take those 2 hard rails and mount them just the way they are going across the fuselage, and then mount your servo lengthwise instead of across like I'm doing here, that's fine too. As long as your servo is mounted and it's been, epoxied on there, you shouldn't have any problem at all. This is the way I'm choosing to do mine, and we'll see how it turns out. I'm going to glue those 2 rails in and show you what it looks like without the servo. Alright, just to make life a little easier, I marked a little F on the front of the front former facing up to me, and a B on the back, and I also went ahead and drew the little squares right around where they were sitting on both sides, so when I epoxy this up I can slide them right in place, clamp it down, and that'll be great. So I mixed up some epoxy. I also got the little side rails ready that I'm going to use, that I'm going to actually screw the servos down to, so I'm going to install. Alright, so there's my rail system that's going in. It's epoxy. You can see you got it clamped from the outside. Just put a little pressure on it, not a whole lot. But my servo will fit right in there, and I'll put the servo in and then find where the other mount goes, and then I'll put the other cross piece in here, right here. I'll put that other piece in. Alright, now to get where I want this other piece to go, I put my servo in, right up against the mount that I want it to be on. And I'll put this other piece and slide it right on in here. And then slide it up to the servo. So now I want to get it right up to the servo. Then I want to back it off just a little bit, just enough to give it enough room to swing in, because you got the wire on the very bottom of it that's going to have to go through, so it's got a little rubber piece on the end. But that's right where I want that to go, so I'm going to mark that. And then I'll epoxy this piece on. Now I don't want to go in front of those 2 lines. And my servo mount will be completed. And there's my finished servo mount. Everything's all epoxied in.